what we do here is go back.
Hopefully that's going to work. You never know. It could do. Even though it's Mike here, Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. It is Saturday the 14th of May 2022. And it's 2022. How did that work out? That was quite good. Late as usual. Do apologise for that. Good evening everyone. Hopefully you're all okay. A bit hot in here today. Been out in the garden today. Catching a few rays and doing a little bit of gardening. So that was tiring. So tonight we're going to just chill. We're going to look at how to spend £900 on a PC these days, which actually you get a little bit more for your money than I was expecting. Things are beginning to look up. There is a little bit of a slight glimmer around the outside of those grey gloomy clouds. Things are starting to look up. We've had lots of bargains this week. For those of you that are in the UK or follow our Discord and look in the bargains no chat section, there's actually been some pretty decent stuff this week. And in fact, even today, Saturday, which is traditionally, at least in the UK, somewhat of a kind of day of rest, as it is, I guess, in most places. Really good deal today. Picked up a, what was the power supply? A EVGA 650 watt semi-modular 80 plus gold for £44, which was amazing. They're normally considerably more expensive than that, so there are some bargains to be had. And we'll be looking for some bargains tonight as we go through. I've also got a PC part picker list. So we'll be taking a look at that and seeing what can we actually get for around about £900 here in the UK at the moment. Now graphics cards have got to the point where it is beginning to settle down. Now some of you, if you're investors this week, you'd have probably noticed that Bitcoin, well not so much Bitcoin, but Ethereum and a few other coins took a little bit of a shit this week and dropped quite dramatically. One particular coin, I think it was it Terra? The Terra coin, which normally kind of sits roughly about the same price as the dollar, fell, I think it was something crazy, like 98%. So that is like horrific. And on a more serious note, some people, it had been posted and reported that some people were kind of considering like harming themselves because they'd lost so much money, like their life savings they poured into Bitcoin and other types of currency like that. And yeah, the stock market took a real tanking. It did seem to recover a little bit the next day. Some coins did bounce back up to pretty much where they were before. As it stands at the moment, because of the things going on in the world, as we all know, which we're not allowed to talk about on this platform, all the stock markets and all the currencies, whether it be kind of real everyday cash that you can hold in your hand or fake coins that are just floating around out in the abyss somewhere, everything's on the slide. So yeah, it is one of those situations at the moment, but hopefully it will look up. And for us here in the UK, it does seem that the dollar, the exchange rate hasn't made things improve slightly, although the pound is worth less as well, so we technically pay more. But anyway, it's starting to level out is what I'm trying to say in a very poor way. Cav's got her hand up.
Nick Barnes has asked, are the new Ryzen 5 5500 classed as a bargain?
The new Ryzen 5500s, similar to this one here, which I picked up. Now this is actually an interesting, well, it's not really interesting, depends which side of the coin you're on. This was posted as a deal actually on the Discord this week. So this is a C-grade processor from, I'm not going to drop it, from CCL here in the UK. So the Ryzen 5 5500 was retailing at somewhere around this sort of, I think it was about 140 mark. Maybe slightly less, maybe slightly more, but around that sort of figure. This was reduced to about 123, 124 pounds, something along those lines. I did want to get hold of one anyway, to see what they're like in comparison with the Ryzen 5 3600, which is kind of the similar sort of processor. One of our regulars to the channel was having problems with their system, and I said, well, tell you what I'll do, I'll buy a processor from was it CEX or no, CCL? It was CCL. Bought it from CCL, and I basically got it sent to them first so they could use it to test in their system, and then they sent it back to us after. So yeah, this is how it turned up. Grade C, as you can see on there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Whether or not it's a bargain, I don't know. I'm still unsure. Obviously, it is still currently in the box, well, the packaging, so I've not been able to test it yet, so I don't know what it's actually like. I have got a Ryzen 5 3600 in the streaming PC behind me, so this will be able to do a direct comparison and see how it performs. I'm guessing pretty much it's going to be swings and roundabouts, that it's going to perform pretty much identical to the 3600, which at the moment actually retails for more than the 5500 if you're just buying it as a normal retail purchase on places like Amazon, CCL, eBuyer, those kinds of places. So it probably is the better way to go, although there are some limitations of this chip. And I'm getting really confused at the moment. AMD are doing some really bizarre things with all their chips. Like we've got the 4100, which has just come out, which is basically worse than the 3100 that it's kind of almost replacing. It's not, but it is. The Ryzen 3 3100 was pretty much the go-to bargain basement chip, what, 2 years ago now, I guess, possibly even more than that, and was commonly available for around about the £80 mark. I think it started out at 110, dropped down quite low. The 3300X was basically vaporware. Very, very few people actually managed to get their hands on those. That would have been the preferable chip. But yeah, the 3100 sold extremely well, extremely popular, very good chip. I probably have bought 3 or 4 of them at least. And yeah, you can't get them anymore, at least not for that sort of decent price. So the 4100 coming out with PCI Express Gen 3 rather than Gen 4 and reduced levels of cache. It's a very weird time for AMD. AMD were always the kind of...
I knew you'd drop it.
Oops.
I've got to do the pins.
I accidentally Linused it. AMD were always the kind of the darling of the budget gamer. Whereas now, in a bizarre twist of turns and fate, Intel now really are the budget gamer's choice. Although you do have to make the compromises with motherboards and things like that, so yeah. Intel, as a individual, processor-wise, yeah, can't beat them. 10th gen, 11th gen, 12th gen, at the budget end, are fantastic. AMD have completely lost the plot, in my opinion. But where they do make up ground is in that sort of low to mid-range, which is what we're kind of looking at today with the build that we're going to be looking at, which is, again, around about £900. Features the Ryzen 5 5600X. Rather than the 5600, there was only about £10 difference between the two, and you get an extra 200 megahertz on the base clock and also on the turbo. So for the sake of £10, it's easier to do that than it is just to press the kind of overclocking buttons and increasing it. Of course, you could do if you wanted to. Depending where you're living in the world, you may find that the 5600X versus the 5600 is comparatively a lot cheaper. So yeah, it might be worth saving sort of 15, 20 quid there if you possibly can. What's Cav looking at? I should say thank you as well to Bob for the early super chat, which I'll put on the screen for you now. Also got some other products to look at as well, which we've been sent this week. There still is a lot of the stuff that William Bodie sent us. Thank you, William Bodie. And also Ugly Bob sent us some jerky as well, some flavoured jerky. Always a fan of jerky, like a little bit of that. That is very good. If the sugar levels drop down a little bit, William Bodie's gear may make an appearance. Although the trouble is with sugary stuff, once you start, it's really hard to stop. Especially with those dime bar things. They are just amazing. And even so much so that that is kind of what we've got left of one of the packs. This is the Marabou Dime. If you've never had Marabou Dime, seriously, my mouth's watering just holding them. They're so nice, in fact, that our cat tried to get into the wrapper of that last night. And cats don't like chocolate, really, I don't think. Maybe your cats do, let me know in the comments. So, I'm not sure if we looked at this last week. Someone might have to tell me in the chat. Did we look at the Navis 240? We've been sent this from our good friends over at Silentium PC to take a look at. So we will be investigating that as we go through the week. I'm going to be putting that up against my Ryzen 9 3900 to see how well it does. I'm hoping it's going to do well. I've not used a water cooler in a long time in my PC, so it would be interesting to see what the technology is like and how well they've come on. And there is a super chat, another super chat from our young Bob. And he says, £10, everyone likes a good jerky. You can't beat a jerky. Teriyaki is good. There is a sweet and spicy, which is also good. But actually, the stuff that Bob sent, I'm not sure what the company was. What was the company called? Do you remember? Can't have a look now. But their original, even the original one, is just really, really good. It's excellent stuff. So if you like your jerky, definitely worth getting some of that. So let's say hello to, oh actually, also as well, we've been sent by our friends over at Deepcool, a AS500, which actually, well, the AS500 Plus in fact, so this is the dual fan model. Quite a few of you have actually suggested this. When we did the Deepcool reviews for the, was it the AS400 and the, no, AK400 and AK620, thank you Kath. They, this was suggested quite a few times. This seems to be one of those kind of overlooked processors. So Deepcool were very kind of happy with the reviews we did. So they said, would you like us to send you anything else? I said, well, actually, yes, some of our viewers have suggested the AS500. Is there any possibility that you could maybe send us a review sample so we can give that its time in the spotlight? And yeah, they certainly have done. And there's another super chat from Orally. Thank you, Orally. £10 there. It says, from space orbiting Area 18 in Star Citizen. We have been hearing a lot about Star Citizen from young Orally in the last day or two. I've seen a screenshot, and that's about all I know about Star Citizen. I know it's kind of one of those, is it like an online role-playing game? I'm not entirely sure. This week's been a weird week for, I don't know why. I just don't seem to have got a lot done this week. We've got lots of videos created and ready for the upcoming weeks. But in terms of actually getting things done, it's been a really weird week waiting for like deliveries to turn up, and I'm still waiting.
Royal Mail.
Oh, don't get me started on Royal Mail. Royal Mail have been an absolute pain in the ass this week. There was a, oh hang on, what was that down there? Thought I saw something move there. I thought maybe the spider had returned. Ooh. There was a big, big old spider. It's down here somewhere still, I guess. Unless one of the cats has eaten it. I posted a picture of it on our community tab. It's a very big spider. I'm not a very big fan of spiders. I don't know why, because they're like tiny, but they do frighten me. A big lad like myself being scared. Also this week we got sent a Logitech M190, or M190. Full-size wireless mouse. This is, what does it say there? This item is, oh, basically it's got a security tag on it, so it hasn't been nicked. So we'll be taking a look at that. This is actually slightly strange in the fact that it's a full-size mouse, but it's a kind of designed as being one of those portable mice that you just chuck in your bag, whatever, take with you your laptop. So checking that out, it's seems to have quite a nice size. So there will be a review coming up of that. I'm sure there is a niche market where people like larger mice but want the kind of wireless freedom. So anyway, we'll take a look. That's from William Bodie as well. Thank you very much.
You should say hello.
I should say hello. What, to the people?
Yeah.
I should. Before I lose track, this is the jerky. Who is it from? Jack Links. meat snacks. So they do sweet and hot, teriyaki, and original. There was 2 of each, but me and Kath have kind of gone in with that. It's high in protein and it's 100% lean beef. Very good, very enjoyable. So get yourself some beef jerky. Not an affiliate, not a sponsor, just this. It's good and it's healthy. And I'm so dehydrated, I need a drink. Hang on a sec. Let me get me glass. Oh, nearly knocked the seat out of the way. Right, let's say hello to some of you chaps and chapesses in the chat there, so I don't get too rude. So we've got Ugly Bob with us, Paul Bakewell's with us. How you doing, Paul? Rick H. This is my favourite Saturday hangout with my fellow mubs. I actually had my mubs out in the garden today. I had my t-shirt off. They were free and unleashed in the garden.
Dragging in the mud.
William Bodie's with us. How you doing, William? Thank you for sending all the stuff, and thank you, Bob, as well. Who else we got? Rick H, yes, that. Dom, how you doing, Dom? Fantastic day in Northern Ireland as well. For some of you that are Patreon members, you'd have seen the video already for the Trust GXR 258 microphone. I remembered it, yes. Which Dom kindly sent us to review, so that has been done. Actually a very interesting microphone. It was relatively cheap for what it is. Trust, as you probably, if you're in the UK, you know the Trust brand. And Trust are well known for being kind of the supermarket brand. So you see them in computer shops, but you quite often, if you go into your local Tesco's, Asda, Co-op, all that kind of stuff, they quite often have Trust products there, and they're cheap and cheerful, generally get the job done. But the microphone was a weird one. The GXT258, it's actually a high quality mic, which you don't normally expect from Trust, because normally they do, like I said, the cheap and cheerful stuff. So to actually have a decent, high quality stereo, well, 4-in-1 mic, it does cardioid, bidirectional, stereo, and omnidirectional. So yeah, that was very good. We like that a lot. Who else we got? This O'Reilly, we've said, I think. Antonio says good evening. How you doing, Antonio? Yeah, for those of you who don't know, or that don't live in Euroland, the Eurovision Song Contest. What can you say about it? Potentially, there's going to be one of 2 winners tonight. The obvious favourite is going to be a certain, well, actually both the UKs. So the Ukraine and the UK are both probably favourites to win. For, as is usual with Eurovision, it rarely comes down to the actual song. It's more of a political statement. So yeah, my money would be on Ukraine. I think if you put the bet on at the moment, I think they're basically odds on to win. But we'll see. Keep me informed, although saying that, I think it, when does it end? I haven't got a clue when it ends actually.
We don't watch TV.
We don't watch television. The last time we watched the Eurovision, we were actually on holiday. We watched it in that caravan, didn't we? God, that was a long time ago. We were expecting Casualty to be on. It's like, oh, crap, we've got this bloody stuff instead. Have to listen.
Casualty was good.
Yeah, it was the lesser of many evils. Anyway, moving on. What's what? Nick Barnes with us. Evening, Mike, Kath and everyone. Just made it back from Chester and spending 4 hours setting up an access point and pinning 25-meter Cat6 cable for our son, Defo Mubstream, the perfect tonic for chilling out. Please do chill out. Drink beer, chill. Paul's having the Grolsch Premium Pilsner. Very good. William Bodie is drinking Paulaner Salvatore. Never heard of that one. And Rick H is drinking Irish Death Black Beer. Is that Guinness? That's a black beer, isn't it? I don't know. I don't drink Guinness. Mark Point's with us as well. Come on, scrolling. Danielle Embley is with us. How you doing, Danielle? Ultimate Tech Hub Mike. I missed that one. How did I miss that one? Hello, Kath and Mike. Cheers from Las Vegas, Nevada. Currently 95 degrees pool weather. Holy crap, what's 95 degrees in centigrade? That'll be 32? I think.
No idea.
Yep, 32. Sounds about right to me. It's probably wrong. Oh yeah, and thanks Mike for the shout out in the video. We were actually featured in Ultimate Tech Hub's top 5 YouTubers with under 1 million subscribers. So to be in the that hallowed list of brave young entrepreneurs and videographers was yes, very exciting. To be mentioned in the same video as Greg Salazar was yes, and also Craft Computing as well. So the others I wasn't too sure if I don't think I knew the other ones possibly. But anyway, thank you very much for that, Michael. That's very appreciated. It's funny actually because I posted it on Facebook, and I think people don't necessarily read Facebook. They just look at the pictures and then make up scroll and make up a line in their head. So a few of my kind of friends and family that are following us on Facebook, or we're friends with on Facebook, they're like, "Oh wow, you've done really well! Like congratulations!" It's like, let's not start jerking each other off quite yet. It's like, it's nice, but it's not like this. It's not like YouTube themselves have handpicked me and plucked me. It's just another entrepreneur who's doing things in a similar way. So it is exciting, but it is also, yeah. Some people have read a little bit more into it than what it is. Some of them actually said to me, "I bet you're getting loads of subscribers now, aren't you?" It's like, we'll see. Like I said, people don't always read things. Dutch Jan's with us, says, "Moin, how you doing?" Who else we got? Mark Kennedy says, "Hi Mike, how you doing, Mark?" Junior Thomas, hi Junior. Not seen you for a while. Glad you could join us. Lucky Man's with us as well. Lucky Man, you've been quiet this week. Wife's watching it. I'd rather watch Mike and get his words wrong. Yep, that's accurate. That is accurate. Ninja47, another one I've not seen as well. Have you seen the episode of Father Ted, A Song for Europe? No, I haven't seen that. I haven't watched Father Ted for, well, I can't remember the last time I watched Father Ted. It would have been a long, long time ago. Ugly Bob says, "Watching Casualty, bit of a buzzman's holiday, that one then." Yeah, that was the thing, because we were, well, at the time it was just me, but Kath did eventually. We worked for Casualty in the props department, so we often gave out props, but we didn't always often see what ended up actually physically on the screen, or what bits actually kind of just were left on the cutting room floor. So obviously we had to watch the program in order to actually know specifically what should be continuity and what wasn't. Because we quite often get art directors come up to us, or designers come up to us and say, "Well, we know you use this and this and this and this." I would say, "Yeah, but it was never seen, so it doesn't matter." And they're like, "Oh, right, okay." So we actually knew more than the people that are actually making the program, which was, I was the oracle of the art department at one point, until I thought, "Wow, F it, I'm not doing this anymore." Oh dear. Anyway, Ugly Bob says it's about 35 degrees. Jesus, 35. It's only been what, about 19, 20 degrees today here in sunny Bristol, but it's very warm. Very warm. There's a super chat coming in from Chris Goddard. Thank you, Chris Goddard. It says, "Cheers for your great how-to videos." Which one was that? There must have been one that was great. Most of them are dire or kind of mediocre. But to be great, that's awesome. Thank you, Chris. Junior says, "Did you watch the FA Cup?" No, I've not seen that either. I'd imagine there's 2 teams in it. Possibly. I wouldn't know who they are though.
We don't have TV license, so we're not allowed to watch.
Yeah, we don't have a TV license, so we're unable to watch programs if even we wanted to. We can't even listen to the radio. How sad is that? So our form of entertainment is basically watching ourselves, or filming ourselves, or watching other YouTube content, or maybe a little bit of Netflix. We're allowed Netflix and other YouTube content, such as obviously Mike from Ultimate Tech Hub, especially when it comes to doing networking stuff, which I will be doing shortly. So Mike can, I'll be relegated to the from the top 5 list, I think, after the networking video. Chris Goddard says, "I just updated the 2 B450 DS3H BIOS while watching Mike's how-to video." Awesome. Gonna upgrade to Ryzen 5 5500s. I have one of those. I'm going to drop it again. I'll put it down. Alexa says it's currently 27 degrees Celsius here in Ohio and approaching thunderstorms. That's always the thing, isn't it? It's when you get the warmer weather, the kind of the storms, you know, are not far away, which is always unfortunate. Welly Bob says, blimey, still 22 degrees outside here. I'm not sure what it is out. It's probably warmer outside. It's a bit. There's not any air in this particular room. We've got the windows closed because obviously I don't want to have the neighbours complaining because I'm making too much noise, talking too loud, as you do.
Talking to himself in there again.
Yeah, that Mike's talking to the camera again in there, the bloody fool. CH4D says, or Chad even, how good is the Deepcool AK400? AK400 is actually really good. It is a very good cooler. It was only, depending on the processor you're using, on most mid-range processors, the AK400 is pretty much within spitting distance of the twin tower, the AK620. Ordinary Dude says, I don't have any TV subscription, haven't in 15 years. I stream anything I want to see. Pretty much that is where we're at, really. We pay for, well, we don't. Our daughter pays for Netflix, so occasionally I'll go on there. It's quite a rarity, to be honest with you.
Everyone's leaving it now, aren't they?
Yeah. Mainstream TV is kind of dying a bit of a death. Mark Point says, is it still snowing? Sorry, it is snow. I'll start again. It's still snowing in the mountains here in Vancouver, BC. Snowing. Blimey. Ugly Pop says, how dare you talk in your own house? Yeah. Our neighbours are a little bit funny at times. Mark Berry says, I cancelled my TV licence 2 years ago. BBC has had its day. The writing.
He's on the wall probably.
Yeah. Because we worked on Casualty, I'd worked there for 10 years, I think, roughly. Maybe more than that. And I'd always watched Casualty pretty much from almost when it came out, pretty much on and off all the way through. Because it was a Bristol-based thing, so it was nice to see Bristol places actually on screen. And I used to get like a book come out with all the upcoming storylines for scripts for the upcoming programs, and I'd get it in advance, maybe about a year in advance, and I'd be like, well, they did that last, they did that, they've done that, and it's basically the same story, it's just rehashed with new characters over and over and over again, and it's like, oh god, this is so terrible. And I say to them, like, do you not realise that you're doing the same thing over and over? And they're like, no, it's just different. It's like, no, it's not. It's exactly the same stuff. It's just different faces and different places.
But we were the only ones that ever watched it, though.
Yeah. The people that write Casualty don't actually watch it. The people that make it don't watch it. We did, so we knew. Anyway, moving on. Ryzen is giving us MX dollars, whatever they are, 100 of them. Good vibes to Mike and Kath by this great streaming. Thank you, Ryzen. That's very much appreciated. Scooby-Doo says, I bought a pre-built MSI desktop, Aegis ZX5 DQ27, 247 US 2, oh god, you can read it, it's on the screen. For 1,000 US, did I get a good deal? I'm not sure what is actually in that system, I'll be completely honest with you. William Bodie says, Mike knows how to collect us all crazy people. It's nice to be amongst people that are like-minded. That's what I'll say. David Thompson says the best part of Casualty was the opening injury scene, guessing how the character would be injured. Yes. Although it got to the point, it would be like, you got to the point of, you had to guess which mental illness, sexuality, discriminative factor, all those kinds of things. It was basically, it wasn't about medics anymore. It was all about just political statements. And it's like,
and also the private lives of all the doctors and nurses hardly had any injuries in it in the end.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, they they did get rid of Hobby City.
Yes, Hobby City did go.
I think they picked the wrong one.
They flipped a coin and it was like, oh, shit. I think it's because Casualty's coming up to its...
Must be 35th.
40 years, isn't it? 84...
Is it?
Yeah, because it started in 1984, I think. No. Yeah, was it 1984?
You had that 30-year jacket though, didn't you?
I think it's coming up to its 40-year thing. Bob has put £5 in the hat and says, how many fan headers does that mud glass have? Is that absolutely none.
How much vitamin C is in there?
It's got a load of vitamin C in it, so I'll probably shit myself in a minute. Bless you, Uggs. Right, let's have a look at this save list. You've probably seen it. If you want to follow along, there is a link in the video description for the PC part picker list, and I'm going to struggle to see what is actually on the screen because I won't be able to see the chat actually. So actually, let me get the chat up on my phone.
Actually, there's a couple of questions.
Oh,
just now it was. I think one's been. Have you done a build in the Fantex Evolve Shift XT?
No, I haven't. Mark Kennedy says, Mike, have you done a build in the Fantex Evolve Shift XT? I've just got one. Looking forward to my first ITX mini build. No, I haven't. Mini ITX is a wonderful idea, but it's heinously overpriced for what it is, in my opinion. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. I'm always about value for money, or at least I try to be. Although sometimes flashy RGB lights do blind me somewhat, literally, into making purchases that I would have probably otherwise not made. So ITX in general is expensive, and there's generally always a compromise. When you minimize a computer, there's always something which is going to be problematic. There's no way around it, because you are reducing capacity, you're reducing airflow, the ability to install fans in certain places. Obviously, more times than not, you're reducing the ability to actually put in a reasonably good sized cooler. So kind of you're forcing you down the AIO route, which then in turn creates its own airflow issues as well, because it's kind of regulated by the fans. So yeah, it's ITX builds are, for me, they serve a purpose for like small form factor PCs where you need them to be. Although, thanks to Dave Aiken, hashtag blame Dave, this week I actually bought an Xbox Series S for just a tad over £200. I think it was like £203. It was a damaged box item. Actually, I'm going to grab it.
Before you do, CH4D.
Yes.
And then I think that's your right there.
CH4D, could you recommend the best value motherboard to pair with my i5 12400 and Deepcool AK400? Ooh, I would probably look at the MSI B660M-A. I think is probably the best value for money from memory. It depends where you're buying it from. If you're in the UK, I think that probably will be the best value. If not, possibly the Mortar. Ultimate Tech Hub says, Xbox PS5 is the way to go. It's, as Waldo says there in the chat, Mike is a bang for buck type of guy, and I am. Bang for buck. So, Xbox Series S, clearly this isn't for everybody, and it isn't the holy grail. It certainly isn't. But for £200, this is basically the same price as what, a GTX 1650 or 1650 Super if you're lucky, or a used RX 580 or Kitten. Thanks, Kath. But for certain instances, this actually beats the pants off of an ITX system. If you've never seen how small one of these actually are, like, we've all seen pictures, I guess, but look at how small that actually is. It literally looks like an IKEA speaker. It really does. And it's so ridiculously quiet. Even in this room today where it's kind of 26, 27 degrees, I was installing it for the first time, put on there Fortnite, put on Rocket League, YouTube app, Amazon Video, one or two other bits and pieces, using the keyboard and mouse plugged in. And I'll be honest with you, I was always dead against this sort of thing, because I think this is very much anti-PC. But playing Fortnite for a little while, I was playing it on the screen here, which is a 27-inch 1080p, and from a distance of about what I am now, so what's that, 2.5 foot maybe. When I was actually playing the game, it didn't feel vastly different than it does when I play on my PC, which is an RX 5700 XT and a Ryzen 9 3900. I looked in the corner to see if there was a frame counter. I didn't see one. I'm guessing there was a way of putting one on there. But it didn't feel vastly different. This is £200. Like, if you buy an X570 motherboard at the moment, that's basically what you get. Just the motherboard. Whereas this is an entire computer, for want of a better word. Clearly, for some things, it's not going to be viable. So if you're like downloading torrents and things like that or stuff, then clearly this is not going to be the way to go. I just noticed on the back, actually, they've actually got the ports there in some form of braille. There's like dots on there so you know which one it is, so you can feel which port is which. So 3 dots is USB, 2 dots is Ethernet, a line is HDMI, and 4 lines is the storage adapter, and 1 dot is the power lead. Why would they do that? That is quite strange. Anyway, it is absolutely tiny, it is absolutely silent. So if you are thinking of making some sort of media center PC to go into a little cabinet under a TV, I think you could probably do a lot worse than this. This is actually, for £200, you do get a ridiculous amount of power for the money. I will be doing some videos on this coming up, because I want to do some comparisons about how much money you have to spend on a PC to get this level of gameplay performance. Now, you can't take into context, obviously, flexibility, because a PC is infinitely flexible and you can do pretty much anything with it, given time, effort, and software. But it's a very, very cool device. It really is. It's very small. It's extremely quiet. Limited by storage space. You've only got 512 SSD in there, which, as far as I know, isn't easy to replace, if at all. But you can plug in other storage devices, I'm guessing. I was gutted that my original Xbox 360 controllers don't work on it. That was a bit of a shock. I'll be honest with you, I was pissed. I was quite upset about that. I was plugging the controllers in, I was like, why the hell is this not working? But it seems that the Xbox Series S and Series X and Xbox One will only work with specific Xbox One type controllers, or controllers that have the Xbox One kind of emulation chip built into them. Who would have thought? Anyway.
You just answered George.
Can I answer George? George, hi Mike, I have a Ryzen 5 5600G and it gets up to 82 degrees. That's enough to give you a sunburn. While gaming with the stock Wraith cooler, is that normal? No. I'm guessing, well, it depends. If your ambient temperatures in the room are particularly warm, that is going to influence the rest of the PC. The Wraith cooler isn't great. So I would normally be expecting it to hit around sort of 75 degrees here in the UK under normal conditions. So 82 is taking it up a little bit more. You might find it beneficial to remove the cooler and just try changing the thermal paste. That might make enough of a difference. If you can, get down to Amazon or your local PC shop or something, get a little stick of MX4 compound. It's not going to be a wasted effort because it's actually good stuff, or MX5 you can get either, depending on which is cheaper. You should be able to pick up a small one for like £3 or £4, so it's not going to cost you a fortune. Changing the thermal paste does make a big difference. So I would certainly recommend giving that a go. If you're not entirely sure, it might even be worth remounting the cooler. Just take it off, repaste it, put it back on anyway, just in case the back plate isn't securely flat. If it isn't completely flat on the back of the motherboard, you might find that the cooler's just slightly off. We have done a video on that, which Kath, I think, is trying to find now. So we'll post that in the comments section for you now, so you can check out all that.
I was going to say Discord.
Oh yeah, or you can join our Discord and have a chat about it on there as well.
Is it? Graphics card?
No, the AMD Stealth, AMD stock cooler might be under. I'm not sure. Hopefully that answers your question. Right, I say I've got it overclocked to 4.7 and it seems to hold the clocks, but I was a bit worried about the temps. No, if you've got it overclocked to 4.7, that sounds okay. You can probably run them up to about 90 degrees before they will start thermally throttling. No worries. Right, let's have a look at the, that's what I was going to do, we're going to look at this PC part picker.
What have I got to put a link on for, sorry?
That's right, yeah, repasting, but don't worry, it's fine. It's fine. YouTube Studio. Now, can I actually see the comments on this, or do I have to actually go into my own video? No idea. I don't think there is actually a live thing in the YouTube Studio, is there? They want to get people onto their mobile phones, but then they don't let the bloody things work.
Go into subscriptions, go to YouTube, go into your subscriptions, and it should be at the top.
Subscriptions, no. I'm going to have to search myself now. That's quite, what's the word? Can't think what the word is now.
Egotistical.
Deliveroo.
Oh, you get a bloody copyright now.
You'll get a copyright strike because I'm playing someone else's ads. You'll get a copyright strike because I'm playing someone else's ads. That's weird.
Best doing.
That's weird. Right, there is a little bit of a delay. Okay, let me mute that. I can see the live chat now. Excrement. Right, stay. Can't read it. It's there.
Do you want your bins?
Did anyone comment? Right. Anyway, moving on. Let's let's have a look at the PC part picker, because that is what the video was meant to be about anyway. So let's go to our desktop. Let's show anyone. Oh, I've still got that on there. Hang on. Hang on a mo. So back to main. Clear. Has that cleared it? Yes, it has. I'm such a rookie. I do apologise. I blame it on being in the sun for too long. Right, let's go to desktop. So hopefully that's okay, and hopefully you can still hear me. Look, is the sound meters going? Yes, they are. Excellent. Right, you can see the mouse. There we go. So there is the May 2022 £900. I have to hasten, it is £900, not $900, not €900, not 900 potatoes. It is £900. So featuring primarily RX 6600, which at the moment here in the UK is being readily available for in and around the £300 mark, slightly under, depending which one you go for. And the 5600X, again, is the X version, not the standard 5600, which can be picked up for somewhere about £10 to £15 cheaper. So first of all, obviously gone with the CPU 5600X, as you can see there. Currently at the moment, PCBuild Business is selling it for $189.99. I'm sure I've seen it cheaper elsewhere, definitely on, I'm pretty sure actually UK Hot Deals. It was been on there recently for considerably less than that. Let me open up a, no, I don't want to do that. Let's open up a new incognito window. And we'll go to Hot UK Deals, Electronics New. Work. Yeah, whatever. So UK Hot Deals is pretty good, obviously, if you're in the UK.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. So there's 5 active deals. So there we go. We found a cheap one already. Oh yeah, because there's a 15% discount off at the moment with certain eBay sellers. So there we can knock off a little bit of money already down to 165. So for £165, that's a great price. And if you want to go, you can. Novatech Nova. Wow, that was Bristolian. Here, mate, get down that Novatech. They got them processors on offer. Ryzen 5600X OEM. So you can get it in a blister bag like I did mine. £172. Blister box, pack, whatever. You know what it is. Anyway, so you're seeing where we're coming from with this. Where's my window? Here's my window. So that is that processor. It's a decent processor actually. 6 cores, 12 threads. Was it 3.7 gigahertz? Does it say at the bottom? I don't think it does it? No. No, I can't say. But basically, you can see the pricing as well. So if you go to PC Part Picker, you can see the prices, and you can pretty much see it's kind of at the top here is stupid prices. It's been stupid prices for time, but then it's dropped down at the moment. It's been at some of the lowest prices it's been since around about March. So in March there was a bit of a dip. And actually, there was somebody there. Who was that? That was. What company was that selling that there? I can't. It's not tracking that. But there it did dip down to roughly about the same sort of price. But yeah, so it's basically its lowest price. You can see there the history. You can do 1 year as well. So it's basically at the moment it's the cheapest it's ever been, apart from a very bizarre little spike there from Novatech. It's a good way of seeing if it's at a good price or not. So that's a decent processor. Cooler wise, we've gone with the Vetroo V5, which is yeah, always one of those fan favourites. Normally it's on at $32.99. There's almost always an offer on from Vetroo UK currently on the actual Amazon site itself. I'm not going to go there because I'm logged in, I'll have my details on, etc. But generally there's like a 5 or 10, either a 10% discount, £5 off, £6 off, that kind of stuff. So it normally comes in at around about £27. If anybody wants to check and put that in there, that'd be awesome. William Bodie says, by the way, we never did hear you talk the Bristol talk. I do it all the time. Like Vicky Pollard from Little Britain. Yeah, but no, but no, but yeah, but no, but. That is somewhat Bristolian. Motherboard wise, now this is where we could potentially save some money. So motherboard wise, gone with MSI's MPG B550 Gaming Plus. It is a really good board. I've actually, is that what I'm using behind me? Yeah, that is what I'm using on my streaming PC. And as you know, my streams are always top notch. So top notch streams require a top notch motherboard. I am kidding myself there, clearly. So £114, not really the best price it's been. There are other places which have done it cheaper. I've seen it under £100 at times, but motherboards are one of those things which are starting to get a little bit more expensive. Again, if we rock down to the bottom here, we can see... Actually, no, it has, this year it hasn't actually dropped below that price anyway, so this is pretty much the lowest it's been. Nice board. If you wanted to, you could go with a Micro ATX board. You could probably switch that out with the MPG B550 Pro VDH Wi-Fi or Pro VDH, or maybe even the Dash A. The Dash A is going to be about £10–15 cheaper. It's going to be slightly limited on some features and lacking some RGB goodness. Memory wise, again, I've just gone with the cheapest we can get at the moment. So it says there's CL20. I don't think it's CL20. I'm pretty sure it's CL18 or 19. But Corsair's Vengeance LPX. I'm not always a big fan of Corsair RAM, but it is what it is, trying to get to a price point. We are under £900 currently, so we could probably go up a little bit. LPX RAM is going to be absolutely fine. Again, £55 for 16 gigs seems like a pretty decent price right now, and is, I think it's pretty much the lowest it's been for quite a while. because it's a DDR4 3600 and it's a B550 chipset and it's also a Ryzen 5 5600, you are going to definitely be in that sweet spot of the Infinity Fabric of around about 1800 megahertz, which works particularly well for a large majority of people with PCs, so that's all good. Storage wise, this is completely configurable to however you want to do it, so I've gone with a somewhat more traditional setup actually, so a 1TB SSD for the boot drive and also a 1TB hard disk drive, 7200 RPM, as a kind of bulk storage drive. Some people may prefer to save the £35 and maybe spend that towards getting a 2TB drive. You could do that, but here we've got 2TB of storage for just a shade over £100. So what are we at, 70? Yeah, £105 for 2TB of storage, which is pretty flexible. And you don't always want all your stuff on a fast drive, so 35 quid for a 1TB drive these days I think is actually really good value for money. Gone both of them Western Digitals, the blue drives, they generally tend to be the best in terms of speed, performance and that kind of middle range. If you want to get really good ones, you could go with the reds, or you can go with the cheaper greens, but I probably wouldn't recommend the greens. They are energy efficient, power saving ones, so ignore those if you can. Matthew Day saying that 70 quid for a CCL clearance is the cheapest B550. Yep, always worth a look on CCL's clearance section if you're in the UK. William Bodie says Tom Baker is 88 and kicking it. He is. Oh, Tom Baker narrating. Yes, I see where that comes from. William Bodie, now I see why Mike loves MSI. Mike sells it. That's not bad. Can I have that? Can I use that? That's good. Patrick LaBelle's just joined us. How you doing, Patrick? And so moving down, this is the real bone of contention at the moment. So graphics cards. Clearly graphics cards are starting to come down in price. Now the Radeon PowerColor RX 6600 8GB Fighter isn't the best card in the world. And it's got a slightly cheap look to it. I personally don't mind that too much. The fact it's actually got a blacked out backplate is pretty impressive. You've got three display ports, you've got one HDMI, dual fan, which I would always go for over a single fan if at all possible. It's not a bad looking card, to be honest with you. Reasonably good cooling. Performance wise is decent. But what else can you do? It's either that or a RTX 3050, which would be a similar sort of price but lower performance. Or you could maybe add another 50, 60 pounds and go with a 6600 XT, which is going to give you a little bit more performance, a little bit more money. So swings and roundabouts. I feel currently at the £300 mark, the RX 6600 at the moment is probably the best value for money. And I would very much like in the comments for you to actually let me know in the comments. Type in the comments now what graphics cards you're using in your rigs, and are you happy with them?
Do we do AQ?
I'm definitely excuse me. I'm definitely interested to know what you're using. I'll start the ball rolling. I'm currently using, well, in two computers. So I've got a XFX 5700 XT thick edition in my video editing rig, and in the streaming computer I'm using RTX 2060 Super.
Before it gets too far up, do you want to do AQ?
Yeah, AQ's question.
No, it's not a question.
Sorry, AQ's suggesting going with the Ions Kuro, the W07 AQ. I think that is a very good shout actually. I wonder if Ions. I'm not sure if Ions cases are actually listed on PC Part Picker, which is a bit of a shame. And in fact, we have actually reached out recently to, it was Ions, wasn't it? Yeah, we've got the KZ25 coming, and I think the Kuro. I think the Kuro is one that I've actually requested for review. So AQ, if you don't mind me calling you AQ, obviously. Yeah, if you want to see the review on that, then that will be coming up. So let's see what you guys are saying in the chat there. So Ugly Bob's on a 5600 XT, can't fault it. Dutch Jan is using the Red Devil 5700 XT, great card. AQ's on a 2070, happy with it, good stuff. Waldo 135, RTX 3060, and for 1080p, it's very good. Yep, I can't disagree with that at all. And Matthew Day's got a 1060 going on to a 1070. 1070 is still rocking it, definitely. Mark Point's GTX 1650, great card, not going to get overheated. Old Man Withers running a 6500 XT, and it's been perfectly good for everything I've done with it. Good stuff. Michael Dunn's on 1066 gig, awesome card, and a 750 Ti. Oh, those were great cards as well. I love the 750 Ti was an awesome card. Welly Bob's on a 3080, a 3070, and a 1080, a Ti, and a 1660 Super. Well, at least you've got some variety there. There doesn't appear to be any Radeons. Have a word with yourself, NVIDIA shill. That coming from a MSI shill like myself. Oh, cancel. Nearly kicked Kath from the chat. William Bodie's Zotac 1660 Ti OC, but it only runs at 1 times PCI 3.0. Or 1 by 3.0. Strange. Kath says, hi Michael. Hi, how you doing?
Not you.
Mark Berry still on a 3400G. Well, at least you've got room for upgrades. Rick's using a GT 1030, 2 gig. I've still got one of those here, which I should do something with actually. Dutch Jan's got 2 RX 580s. They're great. So Nick Barnes on a GTX 1050 Ti, single fan, noisy at high speed, but temps low 60s. Daltaraz a RX 570 4 gig dual fan, which is faultless, both Gen 3 mubs. Good stuff. Ordinary Dudes on an RTX 3060 Ti. Jabant's on a 2080 Ti times 2, 660 XT times 2, and a 3060 Ti. All are pretty good. They definitely are. You've got some really good cards there. Patrick LaBelle's on an RX 580 ROG Strix, 3 fans. Nice. Ordinary Dude has a variety of AMD APUs as well. So there's a pretty good selection there of different graphics cards that people are using. And you could argue that around the sort of middle ground of the probably 3060, the 660 XT, the 5700 XTs, even the 1070 as well, I would say, and possibly the 580 is under a little bit of a load. If you were to do the blind taste test with most of those, you probably wouldn't notice a huge difference if you didn't have a frame rate counter up on your screen. If you did notice a difference, then it might be down to the game, but most are going to be very similar. So anyway, 300 quid roughly for the RX 6600, I think for an 8 gig card is very good option. What else have we got? So price wise at the moment, around that sort of level, we want to have memory. It's got to be at least a 6 gig card, I think, these days, if you're spending that sort of money. I really do. So in that range, what we've got, £250. So GTX 1660 at £250, I don't feel that's particularly good value for money, although certainly doable. 1660 Super, 270, again, okay. Then we've got the 3050s, 8 gigs, so you could go with one of those at 265, you'd be saving a little bit of money, but I think the 6600 is going to be beneficial. The 3050 is going to struggle with RTX on, as do most things, but it's going to be noticeably so there. So if you're buying an RTX card for things like Formula 1, and you want to get the best out of it, a 3050 probably isn't the best way of going. You're probably best off disabling RTX. So yeah, we're looking at 1660 Supers, 3050s, and then we get down to the 6600, which is, I would argue, is going to be the considerably faster card in the majority of titles. You can, of course, obviously go much further up, but you don't really get a great deal extra for your money as you go up through. So we're still looking at 3050s, 6600s.
Patrick's off.
Cheers, Patrick. We don't really get any real improvements until we get to, where are we looking price-wise? So yeah, it's still very much a mixed bunch there. So yeah, 6600 XT, so just under 400. That's quite a big jump. Over, well, yeah, literally £100 just to have the XT, which you could possibly even flash the other card to an XT anyway. And then we start in with the 3060s at just under 400. The 3060 is probably going to be the better card at that point, and also you're going to get 12 gigs of VRAM rather than 8 gigs, which for some people might be beneficial. I quite like the look of the that one there, the Zotac Gaming Edge Twin OC. I quite like Zotac cards, and I think Zotac have actually upped their game a little bit. That's quite a stylish piece of kit.
Does that mean I've got to get a Zotac outfit?
Yeah. And generally with Zotac cards, I think they come with, was it a 3-year warranty? And a dual fan model. Yeah, I've got a lot of time for Zotac cards. Good value for money. So, yeah, anyway, that is the options available there. Case-wise, obviously, you can choose whatever case you want. I'm very smitten with my mittens with this one at the moment, the MSI Mag Forge 100R. That is what I'm currently using as my daily driver for my work PC, for want of a better term, with lots and lots of fans in it. Does very well. I was surprised. I didn't like it when I first saw it. And actually, let's have a look, see what the Ions, if they've got any Ions cases listed at the moment. No Ions cases. So Ions actually do some nice cases, cheap and cheerful ones as well. Although cases seem to be going up in price. I think that's down to shipping costs at the moment, though that's always going to come into it. So yeah, oh, power supply. Shouldn't forget the power supply. That is probably one of the more important things of the build. So gone with actually a 650 watt 80 plus gold rated SeaSonic. And it's very unusual that I would actually choose specifically a SeaSonic, because normally they're quite expensive for what you get. But I feel that when you're spending the best part of £1,000 on a computer, you're probably going to want a decent power supply. So we got with the SeaSonic. The good thing about these, they're going to be quiet. SeaSonic power supplies are generally very quiet, very well made. The core ones I don't think are actually made by SeaSonic, but they're still of a very high quality because they don't want to tarnish their brand. So that is actually the tough version, SeaSonic Tough Gaming Alliance. You can tell that because it's got yellow stuff on it. So if you were doing an Asus build, God forbid, then you could use that. So yeah, I think that is it. Antonio says he's using an RX 570 PowerColor. Awesome stuff. Dutch Jan says my next one will be an RX 670 XT Red Devil. Nice. So anyway, there is the listing. I've actually got the commenting open. So if you want to leave any comments, you can do on this build. So you've got the link in the video description. If there's anything you'd like to change, or anything you'd recommend, or anything you disagree with, anything you think sucks major balls, then please do let me know.
Dutch Jan.
What's Dutch Jan say? Let's have a look. Dutch Jan, question, why just a 650 watt PSU, not really enough for the next generation? To be honest with you, I feel that with the, let me switch back to that camera. I think that with the moment, we're at somewhat of a turning point. So for the build we've got here, if we were looking to do a next generation, you're probably going to swap out pretty much everything anyway. So next generation would be DDR5. So you're going to, well, obviously next generation is going to be a processor as well, and probably a graphics card. So you'll be changing your processor, your graphics card, your memory, motherboard, possibly the PSU anyway. Looking at the requirements for some of the latest PSUs. So I don't feel that at the moment getting like a 1,000 watt power supply and adding another, what, £100 to the build at the moment, I don't know whether that's beneficial at this time. But I could have just said it's a £1,000 future-proof build and put a 1,000 watt power supply in there and it'll be ready for the next thing. But if you're spending 300 quid on a power supply, 200 quid on a processor, and £100 on a motherboard, that's like £600 basically. If you're putting down that sort of money now, the chances are you're probably not going to upgrade your system for arguably a year at the least, maybe 2, possibly even 3, by which time there's going to be another generation on top of what we've got already, possibly even more than that. So things will probably change, power supplies may even change, possibly we might still be getting a 12 VO power supplies. That may or may not happen, we don't know. They are trying to push for it, Intel especially, so that might happen. I feel that at the moment, with that particular system, even if you wanted to upgrade the graphics card, I think the total wattage for that system was something like about 350 watts, I think it said. Where is it? Edit parts list. It does say somewhere, doesn't it? Oh yeah, estimated wattage there, 321 watts. I'll just switch back to that screen so you can see. So at the top there, if you go into the edit the list, it says estimated wattage 321 watts. Now obviously that's going to be your kind of estimated. It will peak higher than that, but we've got a 650 watt power supply, which is basically kind of almost bang on double what that is. So it's unlikely the graphics card and the processor are going to double their wattage. So I think that's going to work out well, and it's a gold rated power supply from a reputable brand, so I think it does well. That's my opinion. That is all I can offer you. I would not like to say that anyone is right or anyone is wrong. It's just what works or doesn't work for you. Let me sort my screen out a minute. And let's have a look, see what you guys have been saying. Actually, I'm going to have to get a proper drink, I think.
What you mean to say is I need to get you a proper drink.
Good idea.
Excuse me, please.
Alan Tarrant, how you doing, Alan? Not seen you in the chat before, so welcome. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It says, I've got the same case and a 2060 Super. Also, I like the 2060 Super. 2060 Super is a great card if you can pick it up at the right price. Can I have the Christmas one, please? The Tuvok beer, or whatever it is. Tuborg. Merry Christmas, everybody. This was actually sent by William Bodie at Christmas time to let in light and banish shade. So that feels like it's going to explode. No, it's all right. I was genuinely a little bit scared there. So this is the Vinax Pilsner. Someone please translate. I don't have my universal translator. I'm going to put it back in with the vitamin C. Oh, smells nice. Actually starting to get my smell back. Like properly now. It's kind of working. Oh, look at that, good job. Here, Gaff, you can have the tin.
Thank you. What's that in there?
Yeah. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. Very hopsy. So, cheers everybody. That has got a very... I'm trying to think what it's got. It's almost got like a... It's got a really kind of woody taste to it. Christmassy almost. You'd probably expect that, being that it is a Christmas Vinax Pilsner. Anyway, moving on. William Bodie says, is 650 watt enough if you overclock anything in the PC? Yes, definitely. I don't see that being a problem at all.
Nick Barnes asked a question as well. I don't know if
Nick Barnes, question. eBuyer have RTX 3060 for £370. Would this be worth an upgrade from RX 6600, especially if Gen 3 motherboard? No, definitely not. The 3060 is... Hang on, I've got to think about this. Yeah. The 3060 is a PCI Express Gen 4 card. But is it 8 lanes or is it 16? I think the 3050 is 8 lanes. And I think the 3060 is 16 lanes. I could be wrong there. I don't think... Well, you're going to see a little difference. There's always... Like most things, if you look at the benchmarks, it'll be like... what have I been looking at recently? 5700 XT versus the RX 6600. Now, depending where you look, they're kind of within spitting distance of each other. So if there's a specific game you like, which is built on a specific engine, etc., etc.
That's a really big hole in the top of this can.
Yeah, did you spill it on yourself?
Not yet.
There's going to be some little differences. If you're going AMD to AMD, the difference isn't going to be as much. You are going to get better performance in terms of, obviously, RTX. Those features, DLSS is still very good. Although saying that, FSR 2.0 is out today, I think. Is it today or tomorrow? I think it's officially released today or tomorrow. And also RSR is working very well in all games. So if you don't mind doing a bit of scaling, you'll probably find that both cards are kind of almost indistinguishable. The RTX is going to be slightly better in some games though. And some games just favour NVIDIA cards. So if you play Fortnite and Fortnite is your thing, then clearly NVIDIA cards are going to do much better. If Shadow of the Tomb Raider is your thing, then again, NVIDIA cards generally tend to fare very well with that. It's very much down to, it is down to what you do. If you're into video editing, I would have said previously, get an NVIDIA card. But I've actually found a lot of things out in my video editing that I think my AMD card actually does work better than what I would get from spending a lot of money on an NVIDIA card. So yeah, there is that to it. I don't know. You could talk about it forever and ever and ever and go around in circles. It's almost like the video card shortage is actually helpful because you don't have as many choices. It's just like, just buy what's in stock. But now things are coming back into stock, we don't quite have that luxury. And you can spend another £100 to get another 10-15% performance on a graphics card, which to me doesn't make a huge amount of sense. But then I'm somewhat of a gaming peasant. I'll quite happily pay it 1080p at 60 frames per second on an older graphics card because I'm still enjoying the game. But I know that there's some people who still have their young person's eyes. They can see that graphical fidelity, and to them it makes a huge difference. So I totally get that. Obviously we've got Welly Bob. Welly Bob is a prime example of that, where he appreciates graphical fidelity, being it 4K or 4K plus, with all the bells and whistles turned on an OLED screen. Me personally, I'm watching this stream, or I'm using this monitor, which is an old Acer 274GL, which is a 1080p monitor. It's fine. It does what I need it to do. I can see it, and if I was playing a game on it like I did earlier, I'd be very happy with it. And it works. So I could spend, well, I did. I spent money and bought a 4K monitor, which is there. And is it considerably better? Not really, unless I'm right up against the screen. Because it's only 24 inches, which is probably not the best size for 4K. Anyway, moving on. Really Random Reviews says, hi Mike and Kath, how are you today? Yeah, good. Been in the garden, sunburnt a little bit. Other than that, very good. Actually, I can turn this off now, can't I? Waste my battery. So won't we all listen to Doug tonight?
Got charge on trees, you know.
Old Man Withers says, I don't think the 3060 is much of an upgrade from an RX 6600. I don't think it is, to be honest with you. Waldo135 says, I still haven't got my smell fully back. Yeah, mine comes and goes a little bit, I think.
What you meant to do
Mark
is
Barry
fry
says,
an
cheers.
orange until the skin goes black, peel it, and eat it with brown sugar in a minute to get your smell back.
There you go. Word to the wise. That isn't a cure.
I haven't tried it.
Because you're not allowed to say cure.
I haven't tried it, but I've heard it.
Radeon Random Reviews says, that's my next upgrade to a 3060 Ti. I'm trying to get one. I have one in the basket for $379.99. How much was the 3060 Ti going for on NVIDIA's site at MSRP? I'm trying to recall what it was going for. There's something in the back of my mind that says it was like £320 or £329, which seems like it wasn't a lot for what it is in comparison with what we've got now. Those NVIDIA drops seem to be less and less. Matthew Day says the 3060 is 16 lane. Thank you, Matthew, for clearing that up. Yeah, I was getting confused there. The 3050, I'm sure, is at 8 lane. The 3060, the 12 gig version, if it comes down another £40, let's say, I think that is going to be a really good card and quite hard to beat. Matthew Day, oh sorry, rerun of use. I have an AOC 1440 and a really old BenQ 1080 60Hz. The BenQ has way better picture quality. Yeah, older monitors, weirdly, at a certain point, are better. Because trying to cram a lot of technology into anything. Look at cars, modern cars. Most modern cars are rubbish. They fall apart, they fail, they need servicing, the computers in them just go, Computer says no. Whereas you get some older cars and they just chug along and go on forever. Arguably they were better built because just there wasn't such tight margins, or potentially not so tight margins, or people were less tempted to cut corners to hit a price point, let's say. Whereas now they very much are. Lucky Man says, I got my smell back and the wife let one go. Oh dear. Really Round View says, Sun makes me get things done and better generally. Yeah, it's good to have a bit. Oh, Tech Soul says 369.99, got one. I would quite like a 3060 Ti, I think. If they came back for 369, I would be quite tempted. I don't need it, but I would like it. And Nick Barnes says, I was only thinking Gen 3, but enjoy basic games on 1080p TV. Played Mario emulator last night and loved it. I really want to do an emulator build. I really want to do that. 360 Ugly Bob says, is my trigger price for a 3060 Ti. Yeah, I think I'm in that similar sort of thing. I'm in a lucky, somewhat privileged position that I can buy these things and claim them as tax deductibles, which, to clarify, doesn't mean that I get it for nothing. It just means that whatever I buy, I don't pay basically 30% tax on. So if I buy a £1,000 graphics card, it effectively, it costs me £700. Or at least 30% of it I don't have to give as profit back to the taxman. I've not explained that particularly well. Basically, if you buy things for business use, which computer components are for me, yeah, if I make enough profit and I have to pay tax, anything that I've spent, I pay, well, I don't pay tax on because it's a business expense. Although if I keep the graphics card, I've got to keep it for at least 3 years, or if I sell it, I then have to pay tax on it if I sell it. So with graphics, well, with any computer component, if I buy a component, I pay the retail price, I save 30%. If I then sell that in a PC, I then pay tax on it, and I'm never going to get the money that I paid for it back. So no matter which way I do, I'm losing unless I buy some really good bargains, which is why I'm a bit of a bargain hunter, because otherwise it ends up costing me a lot of money. Waldo says, what happened to the stream where you were going to do about old games and trying to emulate them? That is still a work in progress. I'm looking to get a capture card. I want to get the Elgato 4K Pro, which has got 4 HDMI inputs. So that way I can control the stream and actually get an input and see what I'm doing. Whereas at the moment, because of the way we've got things set up, it's not ideal. So if I was playing a game, I wouldn't be able to see what, either I wouldn't be able to see what's going on the screen, or I wouldn't be able to see what I'm playing, which clearly is not good. So it is something I'm working on.
You said it without thinking through.
Yeah, I was writing checks my computer knowledge could not cache. Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Does in my head anyway. A really random review says, fuming, I paid £420 for a 1660 Ti in the middle of lockdown and card shortage. I will trump your feelings there because I got two. This should be on my things I wish I'd never bought list.
Sorry, Bob.
Sorry, Bob.
Are they on his too?
Yeah. So technically I didn't buy this one, I swapped this for it, but you get the idea. So the first one of my mistakes was the MSI Aero ITX GT1030 2 gig. At the time I paid £90 for this, which in hindsight now wasn't probably a good idea. But it is cute. This is a cute card. Let's put the overhead on so you can see it. That is a tiny card. Oh, it's got a cat hair. Can't get rid of it. But that is a very cute card. And actually I've used it a few times for testing stuff. So it's not as if I haven't used it at all, but it's not ideal. But it's all right. It could go into some sort of retro system. That would be probably its best bet to go into something like that. Maybe some sort of emulation system where it's more CPU dependent, but I need an HDMI output. But still, 90 quid does still make my my mind be blown. So that was a mistake, or one of my mistakes. That was a lockdown mistake. I was convinced that graphics cards were going to get ridiculously expensive, like a lot more than what they actually did, which fortunately for most of us they didn't, or at least not as much as I was expecting. Like I said, I was expecting like a lot worse. Anyway, so if anybody wants a MSI ITX Aero, that will be that's going, well, it's not going cheap because I'm still going to lose 30% on it anyway, because bastard tax man. Anyway, and this was the other one, the Radeon RX 6500 XT, which is still in the box. I did have two of these. I've sold the other one last week in a system which I lost considerable amount of money on. This effectively cost me £230. So if I'd have spent another 70, I could have had now a 6600, which would wipe the floor, eat the breakfast, and then defecate on this card. So yeah, that's quite sad. It upsets me a lot. I'm welling up a bit already. I need a drink. Rick H says I paid $85 US for my GT1030 off Amazon. To be fair, this card isn't as bad as people made out. There's very much a common thing at the moment, especially on YouTubers, because YouTubers, we're basically all trying to get clicks. That's what pays the bills. That is what keeps us in. Jack Link's beef jerky. Actually, let's open the beef jerky. It's probably not a good idea to eat jerky actually in a stream where I've got to talk when I'm chewing. Oh.
Fall through your teeth.
Oh. Lager and jerky. Amazing. That does smell good. Yeah, let me smell. You getting that? It's good. Nice stuff. I'll go for a little bit. Oh, look at that. Proper. Oh my god, that's so good. Okay, moving on. I don't think I can move on after. I'm going to have to do the pack. I should have chewed that more, but anyway. Dutch Jan says, is that a toy? Not far off. Where did I get to? Matthew Day says, crypto crash. Yeah, the crypto crash kind of hasn't, I don't know. I haven't looked at the the charts today. Actually, I'm going to do that now. Let's have a look and see what the crypto stocks are like. See if they've recovered at all. Crypto, because Ethereum is starting to go proof of, not proof of work, it's going proof of whatever the other one is. I can't think what it is now. Proof of stake rather than proof of work. So Ethereum's moving off it. Bitcoin's still going to be on GPUs. So there is still going to be that. I don't want to give feedback. Okay, so Bitcoin is currently down to, yeah, Bitcoin hasn't recovered quite yet. Ethereum is kind of slightly, but not a great deal. So in the last 7 days, Bitcoin's dropped 18%, Ethereum has dropped 25%, Tether has dropped 0.1%, USD coin is at 0, it's just flat, so that hasn't changed at all. There was a little spike in the week. BNB coin has gone down 23%, XRP has gone down 30%, Cardano's gone down 33%, Solana is nearly 40%, Dogecoin's 32%, Polkadot 21%, of Avalanche 43%, Wrapped is 18%, Tron's 17%, Shiba is 40%. So in general, most of them are going down about 30% this week, on average. So yeah, it's not good. It's very not good. Monero is also 30%. Ethereum Classic down 25%. I don't really need to keep on saying this, do I? So yeah, everything has recovered moderately. The reason behind that is because with every time there's a massive dip in Bitcoin, there's the people that jump on because they see the drop, like, right, it's cheap, buy. So then you immediately get a quick bounce back. It's what happens after that bounce back, because there's only going to be a certain amount of people that are going to buy. If it continues to drop, people will continue to buy. So you'll just see up, down, up, down, up, down. It will. I think it's going to drop a bit more. Depending on who wins Eurovision tonight, it could drop even further. Because that is obviously Eurovision is an extremely important thing. Anyway, moving on. Ordinary Dude says, "Lol, beef, beer and jerky. You'll be farting in a bit." I already do that relatively well already. I don't really need any improvements on that. Bob says, "Crypto's going down like a tart Snickers at the moment." Yeah. Really Random View says, "Yes, they buy it cheap." They do. Really Random says, "My P-Dot has gone down 80%. I'm not selling. I'll hold to 0 or wait for recovery." Like anything, any investment, if you hold it onto it long enough, eventually, in theory, it should recover. Your traditional markets, silver, gold, your precious metals. Precious metals are the ones to buy at the moment because they've been artificially lowered. So if you're thinking about getting into precious metals, now is probably the good time. They're the lowest they've been in a long while. John Sullivan says, "Ugly Bob needs a calculator."
That's probably your accent. Oh.
One does not simply eat one strip of beef jerky. Dutch Jan says, "Crypto is not stable enough." No. Nickel is insane, says Really Random Views. Good stuff. Right, let's have a look at, what should we have a look at? Let's have a look at this cooler. I'm intrigued. I'm more intrigued about the 5500X. Actually, did I get a 5500X or did I get a 5500? I can't even remember. 5500, not an X. Rubbish. Poor man's card. Poor man's CPU. So this is the Deep Cool AS500 Plus, a 140mm dual fan CPU cooler. Now what I like about this is it's dual fan, not dual tower. I don't like dual towers because they're a pain in the ass to fit. This fits, doesn't fit LGA, oh yeah, LGA 1700, it does fit. That's awesome. Is that stuck on? Yes, it is stuck on. It's all stuck. Oh, actually, I should say as well, I've finally finished doing the build in the GameMax Commando case, which has been long overdue. I still haven't got a IO shield for it. Hashtag blame Dave. But not to worry. What I think I'll do is I'll just end up selling it cheaper without an IO shield. Because most people don't really care about an IO shield anyway, do they? Only me.
You should use your new knife set.
Oh, I should have, shouldn't I? Bloody hell. I have actually got a new knife set from Mr. Bodie. Although, me and knives don't really get on very well. Ugly Bob says, poor Dave. Yes. Really round views, Commando case. I did not hear of this. It's a good case actually, GameMax Commando. So, what do we get in the box? We get, clearly, a fitting kit. And Deepcool do some, I nearly said the F word then, they do some fairly good packaging. It comes with all that nice styrofoam, so it's basically not going to get damaged in transit, which is awesome. It might get damaged in unboxing, because it's me. Ooh. Actually, I'll be honest, this looks better in the flesh than it did in the box, or in the actual advertisements. So we've got 140mm fans, got a relatively thick heatsink there with 5 heat pipes. So that's 5 6mm heat pipes. That looks quite nice. I do like the look of that. Somebody said about having holes in the fans, which if I take one of these off, you can see that seems to be the only kind of real kind of innovation on oh, these clips are a pain in the ass already. Right, send it back. Deepcool, you're fired. At least you know they're not going to come flying off. So let's take that fan off. So I don't know if you can see that. There is, get it closer, maybe it'll focus on it. So you can see the edges of the blades, there is like slats in them. I like level-in slats. And there's some really nice foamy rubber bits on the corners there. So I'm not too sure how that would actually aid cooling. Whether or not those... They've clearly done it for a reason. It does move quite a lot of air actually, just turning the fans, you can tell. Yeah, look how much it's blowing my eyebrows. It's like being in a thunderstorm. Cav's making me watch the replay. Sorry. William Bodie says, other cam please, okay? There we go. There we go. Can you see that okay? Let's move that in.
They wanted your eyebrows in the other cam.
Oh, right, okay.
No, it didn't.
So, yeah, the slats on there, the blades are really weirdly angled. I'm betting this is going to be very quiet. It's got a very unusual look to it as well when it's spinning. I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera the way I can see it, but there's like lines that go around
Yeah, it does a bit.
the inside edges, like spirals. But yes, that's a very interesting design. What are the... So, made by Deepcool. The fan is the DFR 1402512CL 12 volts, 11 amps, the TF140S. Made in China, no surprises there. It's quite a rigid fan, quite a decent amount of plastic on there. Clearly it's got RGB on the top, so there's a cable that runs down through the middle channel, and that is going to terminate into a, I'm guessing...
Terminate.
Oh no, it's not. It's a custom plug. So there's a custom RGB plug on the bottom, which is never a good idea, but it happens, so let's have a look. Those clips are very heavy duty.
How long will they take you to put back on?
Forever. So 2 fans. Heatsink's decent. Solid as well. Those oh, it's taking skin off. They are, there we go. They are actually pretty decent. Sorry, Kath, can you put that overhead light on, please?
Sorry, Flame.
Yeah, that's better.
Why don't you use Bob's torch?
I could use Bob. Yeah, where is Bob's torch? Oh, it's over there, isn't it? I could use the little one. Ugh. What can I clip it onto?
Your head, your eyebrows.
Clip it onto my eyebrows. No, that's not really working, is it? I've let myself down there. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's kind of okay. So yeah, you can see a little bit now. So the heat pipes go through. Actually, they've done a good job with the heat pipes as well, because they've offset them to the outside edges. Because in the middle of the fan, because you've got the circle in the middle for the motor, you don't really get a great deal of air going through the middle, so it's pointless really having the heat pipes in that center section. You're better off having them either wrapping around or just straight up on the outside edges. So that's pretty cool. There's a custom plug there for RGB, which is never good. There's a weird little grub screw in the bottom, which looks like it's quite difficult to get to. Have you seen that grub screw there? So, yeah. General sort of normal fitting, so that sort of deal. It's quite heavy. It's quite a lot of weight to that. Let's have a look, see what we get in the fitting kit. Let's zoom that back out a little. There we go. So fitting kit, we get the RGB. Oh, it comes with an RGB controller as well. That would be why you get the custom fitting section on there, and there's a gigabyte cable as well. There's Poppy. Poppy Doral. No, she's not interested. So there is a 2-in-1 for the PWM. There's a SATA power connection and RGB extension, and there is a 3-pin 5-volt addressable RGB to that kind of custom connection for motherboards. So that's all good. Oh, that's new and sexy. A deep cool thermal paste syringe in black, so you can't see what's inside it. Well done. Good job, guys. What colour is the paste? Silvery. Okay. So, yeah, so different. There's some 3M tape. What is that for? Are these magnets or rubbers? These feel like... Where's something magnetic? Nope, they're not magnets. No, just rubber pads. What are they for then? I'll have to actually look in the instructions. Ooh. The IKEA instructions. So, I wonder if those are for a base plate or something. No. Nope. Nope. What are those for then? If anybody's actually used one of these and they know what those sticky pads are for, please put me out my misery. No. Nothing at all. So AMD, Intel. Is there an amendium for the LGA? So 1700. No, there's nothing there. LJ 1200, 1500X, doesn't state 1700.
Backplate maybe?
Well, yeah, that's what I would have thought, but... Instructions for a tower cooler. The side of the fan for RGB maybe? Okay, so unmarked bag with screws in. That's not going to be boding well. That is going to be for Intel setups, I guess. I wish they put the labels on the bags, that would make life so much easier. So the backplate, the Intel backplate actually has those rubberized bits on already. So it's not going to be for that. And that's the AM4 setup. Clearly, because it's straight arms rather than being the offset ones. Oh, the screwdriver just caught me in the bollards. Okay, well, we'll investigate that when the time comes, which will be early next week. Hello, Wild Bill. Wild Bill. Do you know what, Wild Bill? All week, because we've been sending stuff and we've been communicating, it's been one of those things that whenever the name gets mentioned, Kath or myself, we sing Duran Duran Wild Boys. It's just a thing. Obviously, doesn't everybody? So I'll say, oh, Kath, have you got that parcel ready for Wild Bill? And she goes, Wild Bill!
Don't know the rest of the words.
We don't really know much of the other words, so yeah, I might.
Just do it.
Wild Boys! Anyway, I digress. Oh dear. Silly old me.
He's watching on catch up, so he won't know that until later.
Okay, so I think we've sufficed to say that it's almost 100% guaranteed that when I come to install this, I'm going to struggle. Which
Nails.
I'm going to have to grow nails. I have to turn into like some kind of vampiric Aletta style person. I don't know. They go on easy, they just don't come off easy. Okay, that's a compromise I can live with, I think. Oh no, it's not level. That's going to hurt. Oh, I don't think I can get it level. Yeah, I can.
Standing ovation for GB and Euro.
A standing ovation for the Great Britain in the Euros? No effing way. Unbelievable.
Does anyone else know Mark from the hotel?
I doubt it. Does anybody else in the chat at the moment know Mark from the hotel? That was set in Torquay. That was his catchphrase. Unbelievable. Right, now can I remember how to put this back in there for my unboxing process when the time comes? Probably not. I should do something with all these coolers actually, I've got way too many now. Come on. Right, there's one. When you unbox things, you do become somewhat of a semi-expert at putting things back into packaging. It's one of those. It's one of those things that they. It never comes up on the school syllabus, does it? It's like, what do you want to do when you're older? Oh, I want to be an unboxer. Okay, well, today we'll put you in the reboxing group, and you can show us your skills. And look at that, no box bulge. That's something we always get. If you put it away wrong, you get box bulge. And that doesn't mean you've just seen a graphics card that you particularly like. It's something very different.
When Lisa Sue is on the screen, I'm a semi-expert too. Don't even have to ask, do you?
Right, I'm going to try this. Let's try this mouse. This is from our good pal, William Bodie. The Logitech M190. I'm hoping it's going to be better than this thing, the M220. In theory, the number is lower. So if it's an AMD type product, it should be better. Because as we know, the 3100 is better than the 4100. That's actually not bad packaging. Oh, I'm never going to get that back in there. Okay.
Andy asks, how are GPU prices in the UK now?
GPU prices are getting better. They're not excellent, but they're getting better. So what battery-wise, we get a GP alkaline. That's not bad. Would have been nice to have had a Duracell, but I'm not going to knock it. On-off switch, 5 glide pads on the bottom. That is moderately impressive. Wonder actually if it'll work with the one I've got. Is that on? No, that's on. Where's the mouse? There it is. It's much smoother. Right, I'm gonna have to plug in the doodad to the thing in a minute. Remember, it's the one on the right, Kath. It doesn't work. Did I put the battery in the wrong way? I think I did. There's no light to say it's working. Oh, I think it is working. I've just broken something. Oh, that's quite nice. Oh yeah, that's horrible and scratchy. That's better. It's actually a nicer size. It's proper chunky mouse. This thing's tiny in comparison. That's quite nice. Nice scrolly wheel. That's quite good actually. Poppy, can you not do that? Thank you.
She doesn't want to say hello today.
She's not saying hello, she's horrible. Where are we? Afandi says, I'm halfway there to getting my own RTX 3060, but should I wait for a new generation of GPU? You can always wait and yeah, see what happens. It's always a weird waiting game. James Miscellaneous is with us and says, Chunky Weenie mouse brand. It is Chunky Weenie. William Bodie says, I knew Mike will love this mouse. This is why I got it in blue. Yeah, it is actually. Well, this is not a very good blue, to be honest with you. This is actually, this t-shirt's wrecked. I bought some t-shirts, Mike's Unboxing t-shirts, and they've come out and they've gone somewhat turquoise, which is more that. But it's meant to be bluer. Well, it's meant to be that colour. Yes. We are actually going to be doing some Mike's Unboxing polo shirts as a very, very, very limited edition. Available in black, white and pink. So if you want or are interested in a Mike's Unboxing polo shirt, it'll have an embroidered logo. It'll be embroidered, not printed. So it's going to be embroidered so it lasts longer. And yeah, black, white or pink. That'll be the 3 colours that will be available. So if you would like one of those, let me know in the comments or drop me a line and tell me what size. And we'll try and make it happen. Dutch Jan says I like my G502 and MX Master. Bob says it looks like Tiffany blue. I don't know what that is. It could well be.
Some jewellery shop, isn't it?
Ordinary Dude says, how big will you make the polo shirts? I will make them big enough for people. If they ask,
I don't know,
I will try and get them.
Size,
I think 3XL is the largest they do. Let me have a look. So these will be like extremely limited edition, custom ones made specifically for us. Not just like some thing where you send a logo and they print them. These are actually done properly for us, embroidered. And they will be hand-picked, hand-sent by Kath or myself. So they are like the proper deal. Where are we? Polo shirts. There's actually 17 colours available, but I'm going to limit it to 3. So there's going to be, yeah, black, white and pink.
Why do you want pink?
Hot pink for the ladies.
Hot pink.
Hot pink is basically...
That was hot pink then.
Like my face at the moment because I've been in the sun. I did want to get socks. Someone said that Mike's Unsocksins.
That's
Yes.
me. Mike's on boxers.
Where are they? What sizes they do? Sorry, 4XL is the largest. So there's extra small, small, medium, large, XL, 2XL, 3XL and 4XL.
It's 3XL US.
And the sizing, let's have a look, sizing. I'm not going to be able to post that, am I, into the thing. So, well, basically a large is a 42 to 44 inch chest.
It's the ordinary dude, so you can put it in Discord.
Yeah, I'll put it in Discord, Ordinary Dude. So I will be posting this in Discord. So if anybody is interested in a polo, just let me know interest. You don't have to place an order. You don't have to say, yes, I definitely want one. But just to gauge interest and sizes and that sort of stuff. Because like I say, they are going to be an extremely limited edition.
And can you answer Benny Hill?
Benny Hill.
Come on.
Benny. Benny. That is a wonderful name. Is that your actual real name? If so, that is amazing. I like it. Benny Hill. Mike, I have a faulty 16GB Corsair Dominator RGB RAM stick. I tried to lick it, but no joy. What would be the best course of action to try and get it fixed? With Corsair, fortunately, because Corsair RAM is horrible and generally doesn't work, they actually do a lifetime warranty. So as long as you've got your original packaging and possibly a receipt, you should be able to create an RMA and get that replaced. We've had the same thing. Our son George, he bought some Corsair. I don't think, was that Dominator? I don't think it was Dominator, but it was RGB RAM and that failed. And we got that replaced and they were very good. So yeah, that would be my suggestion. What is actually wrong with it though? Is it just the RGB is not working or just it's not booting in a PC? If possible, I would suggest testing in another PC just to be on the safe side if at all possible. Darren says Mike's G-string small to XXXL.
I did design one, didn't I?
We did actually have some designs, yeah. I think it was Skystalker wanted to get some for Tina.
Yeah. Oh.
Lucky Man says XL white for me. James says your son licked RAM too. Yeah, we've all licked RAM, haven't we? We've all been there. James says maybe you should lick my Viper sticks. If that's code, you feel free. Benny Hill, RGB works fine, but it keeps blue screen on my PC. Try another board and still the same blue screen memory management. Okay, fair enough, yeah. If you're getting the memory management error and you get it on 2 PCs, then it's extremely likely. The only thing I would say, yeah, there is a Sky Stalker. Put me down for one, medium, okay.
Is that a thong?
Was that the thong? Or the polo shirt? Good to see you, Sky. Yeah, with the RAM, if it's coming down to memory management, if you're using a B450 and the RAM is over 3200 megahertz, then I would suggest try enabling XMP but then reducing the frequency, because a lot of B450 boards just don't like going over 3200 megahertz. I've found that quite a few times. Tristan G says I've been using Corsair Dominator non-RGB RAM in all my rigs. I think it's the RGB stuff which causes more problems than anything. I really do. Glenn's with us, says even all. How you doing, Glenn? Ugly Bob says that's why he's not allowed back in the petting zoo. Lucky Man's kissing is 3070. Right, Benny Hill says it's a B450 and the RAM is 3000 megahertz. It was a 32 gig kit. The other stick is fine. Yeah, I think you've done everything which is reasonably practicable there. You've got the right speed, frequency for the board. If the other stick is fine as well, then yeah, I think you've pretty much covered all your bases there, and it's just down to a faulty stick. It does happen, it's unfortunate. Generally, I would say Corsair do fix these things quite quickly. I think when we did George's, the RMA process, the longest part of it really was the to and fro with the emails. Once it actually hit the post, I think it was probably less than a week and the new sticks arrived. So yeah, it was quite good. They generally, if you bought it as a pack though too, quite often they'll ask you to send both back, obviously as they were, rather than just the individual stick. So they'll send you out a new pair. I'm a Coconut says I'd be RMAing that memory, make use of the fact that you paid a little extra for the branding. Yeah, there is that to it. Lester says I've never had good luck with Corsair RAM. Yeah, a lot. The thing is, motherboards and processors and RAM, like a lot of people say that the Ryzen 5 3600 is a problematic processor. And people also say that Corsair LPX is problematic RAM. And also myself, people say MSI motherboards don't like being flashed, or fail often when being flashed. Now that is probably, we are seeing a lot of that happening. It is a very common thing. But what you have to take into consideration also is that MSI motherboards, Ryzen 5 3600, and also the Corsair RAM are probably the most sold items for PCs. So if you're selling an awful lot more, you're going to see a larger occurrence of issues. Because obviously, statistically, if you sell a lot more, there's going to appear to be more failures on the market. But that's because there's more of them out there, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. But yeah, I would send that back. You sent that as that Bob again?
No, that's the one I designed.
Oh. Can you send me that somehow?
It's on Discord. Should I put it on Discord? And you can share it on your phone.
Let me see if I got Discord on here. Yeah, I have. I bet it's going to ask. It's going to ask me for something now. I'm going to show you the thong that Kath designed. Is it going to ask me to log in and all kinds of other nonsense? In fact, which screen is it even on? Hello, McFly? Oh, please log in again.
That's why I don't bother on my phone anymore.
Where's my phone? Right. I've got to turn the screen off because it's security. Doopy doopy doo doopy. Talk amongst yourselves. Or if you're a real weirdo, talk to your partner. Okay. Right, back onto the main screen, and where are we? No idea. Oh, there we are. General chat.
You better watch out for names and stuff.
That's right, I've closed down the other one. Can I zoom in on that? I don't really want to. There we go. There's the Mike's unboxing thong. Bit of a thug life thong going on. Brilliant. There you go. So that is, I was going to say something crude then, but I won't bother. So, 16. Yeah, okay.
What's that? How many fingers you've got?
Yeah, 16 toes and 16 fingers. I've lost the chat window now. There we go.
Oh, Captain Meat missed the thong.
Oh, Captain Meat, you have to rewind it. Captain Meat's Adventures is a bit late because he obviously had to appear on the Eurovision. Captain Meat is a very famous musician with his stoic good looks. Aletta says, Kath, what is the world coming to? Mub thongs, cats and dogs playing together. I know, it's anarchy. Lucky Man says, no way, your face on my junk. No. Think what it's like for me. I gotta have my face on your junk.
Oh, so it's a face mask. I said I'm sure it'll double up.
You could, yeah, obviously, for those of you that are still a little bit concerned about the world and the way it is, you can obviously double it up as a face mask, stick it on upside down and see how that works out for you. Fandy says my RX 460 is hanging by a thread of life. I hope I can get enough cash for a new one. I hope so. I hope so too. It's always nice to have a little bit of an upgrade. Really Random View says, yeah, good RAM in my opinion on my 4th kit. I've actually bought this week, actually, what was it last week? Some Corsair LPX DDR4 3000, which actually, this is an ideal opportunity because I can.
Going commando.
I am going to go commando. You ready, ladies and gentlemen? Your host is about to go commando.
Ooh. Sorry, headphone music.
This shoulder is effed. Right, let's go commando.
Wind the wire. Watch out for me.
Oh dear. This is the Game Max Commando. Put your 3D glasses on, kids, because Uncle Mike's about to knock over the lampstand.
Good tune.
Yeah, that's going to end up. Ooh, that nearly went. today. Game Max Commando. Actually, finally did a build on it.
Ugly Bob.
What's Ugly Bob saying now? John Simon said, oh dear. That shoulder will hurt when it comes to the first. Oh, Bob. Anyway, so Game Max Commando got the job done. Actually, there's William Bowden's Zotac 1060 6 gig. That's what I've been using there for doing a bit of testing, thermal testing. A horrible case to build in. Absolutely horrible. I was planning on doing this in a live stream, and I am so glad I didn't. It turned out nice, and it works really well, and it runs very cool. But it's an absolute sod to work in. It really is. Some of the reasons for that, if I take the front panel off. Oh, I forgot there's clips. That's broken it. Oh, come on. Yeah. This is like frustration level case. There we go. So, front panel's cool, it's metal. But the glaring error, I wanted to mount the radiator in the front, which you'd think, oh, that's cool. There's room for 3 120mm fans on there, so you got no issues there. 3 fans work in there fine. But when it comes to radiators, it doesn't. Because you've got the extra bit on the top of the radiator, in the 240 and the 360, you can only mount the radiator with the bottom bits there, and the radiator kind of cut off here, which I didn't want to do, because that just looks awful, having half the radiator below the level and half above. It just didn't look right at all. So I couldn't mount the radiator in the front, which was really upsetting for me at the time. I then tried mounting the radiator with the pipes being at this side, and it looked awful. So I settled on this setup in the end. There is another fan which got to go in the back, in here, which I haven't put back in yet, which I'm planning on doing. And I'm still kind of umming and ahhing about what to do with the fan in the front here. There's just a single fan, which actually seems to be doing absolutely fine. So I might just leave it like that. Although I would quite like to put another fan in the front. Not necessarily an RGB one, because there's not really a lot of point, because there's a metal panel here, so you don't really get to see a great deal of that anyway. So that is a little bit kind of redundant. But actually, surprisingly, even though there is that solid front panel, because you've got a lot of ventilation down both sides and the bottom, it actually does breathe quite well. And in that configuration, without a fan on the back, because that is completely open, the radiator in the top, as you can see there, actually pulls in cold air from the back and also from the front. So it does breathe particularly well. I was a little bit concerned that the graphics card was going to get a little bit toasty because of being quite close to that basement, but it seems to do very well. Temperatures were exactly what I thought they were going to be. Power supply was a pain in the ass. Couldn't fit a Game Max power supply in here because it was physically too big.
3 fans missing?
Yeah, it's kind of 3 fans missing. There should be 1 on the back really and 2 more at the front, but hey ho, I'll live. Yeah, so it's actually, the system itself works really well, and if you're a Patreon or a YouTube member, you'll start seeing a few videos with this actually in the background here. And weirdly, it actually changes the whole look of the setup we got here. It looks very different with that there. So
when we had that alien one.
Yeah, it does look very different. So yeah, this is going to be, I'm taking the graphics card out, that's staying. So I'm going to get an RX 480 possibly, if I can, to put in here to sell this PC on. And yeah, then hopefully make some room. But what the thing was, the Corsair RAM. So just to say, even though I do get problems with it, I have bought some Corsair Vengeance. This is only DDR4 3000, but it's CL16, so it's quite nice. The processor in here at the moment is a Ryzen 5 3600, but that is going to be replaced with the 5500 because that is PCI Express Gen 3, as is the B450 board. So yeah, that is the kind of the reason behind that. And also I want to do tests because that is a 3600 and this is a 5500. So this is an ideal test bed because people might be having this motherboard and set up and thinking, I want to upgrade the processor, what do I do? So, and also that's cheaper. Yeah.
What GameMax model power supply did you try to fit in there?
The GameMax model power supply that I tried to fit in there was the GameMax RGB, I'm not sure what the model is. I can grab it, it's only behind me. But
GameMax power supply not fitting in a GameMax case.
Yeah, you would have thought it. So it was this power supply, so it's the RGB 550, so 80 plus gold. I will get it to fit in there, it's gonna fit. Thanks to Marshmallow Cookie actually, who sent that in to us. Well, we swapped it for some parts, but. And if I show you, the reason why it didn't fit is because the hard drive cage, which is actually in the back here, is fixed. So I probably could get that to fit, but it will be a struggle.
What was it you were calling that box just now?
This.
No, the box you put the cooler back in.
Flat pack.
A bulging box or something.
Bulging box, yes. So as you can see, it's a fixed thing here. The power supply I've got in here is the Silverstone 650 Strider, which is a little bit less deep. So actually, I'm going to try it now. I should be ending the stream really, but for those of you that have had to endure the last couple of hours, let's give you a bit more, time. I should have done the whole build on the stream really, but I genuinely could not bring myself to do it. Specs on the PC, it is Ryzen 5 3600, 16 gigs of DDR4 Corsair LPX DDR4 3000. It is a Zotac 1060 6GB OC edition. Case is the GameMax Commando. Power supply currently Strider 650 Gold, soon to be something else. If I can get the bloody cables out. It isn't the easiest of cases to work with, as you'll see very shortly. And I did actually remove the majority of the cables just to try and make my life a little bit easier. Oh, it's not going to want to come out now, is it? Because the HD audio cable. Oh, I just unplugged the wrong one. You swine. That's the RGB cable I've just removed. Right, graphics card's got to come out. That is the thing with micro ATX. If you do anything which is in the way at the bottom, the graphics card is going to be getting in the way, especially if you've got sausage-like fingers like myself. Just before James Miscellaneous says, because he hates me. So let's plug that back in. It cracks me up actually. This micro ATX motherboard's got a an 8X graphics card slot actually on the bottom, which is absolutely pointless because you'd never in a million years get a graphics card in there. Right, so there we go. One power supply out. And you can see, hopefully, it's about an inch smaller, maybe a bit more, I'm not sure. How big's an inch, Cav? All right, 30 mil, a little bit more than an inch.
Not 4 mil, I like the cooling rope.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was funny. Right, let's see if we can get this in. I don't know why I'm even doing this. And the thing is, the hard drive cage is riveted in. Obviously, of course it would be. It's too hot in here to be doing this really, but that's what I don't want to do. So you could unplug the wires, but then you've got absolutely no chance whatsoever of plugging them back in again. So which one don't I need? We could remove some cables, I think, which isn't going to help a great deal, but no, don't need that one. Need that one. Want that one. Actually, do I need any SATA cables? Technically, I don't. So I could be an absolute bastard and not put the SATA cables in, and then if I sell it, it'll be like, well, there's the cables included if you want to put any SATA drives in. Best of luck. Right, let's move that back there. This might actually have a fighting chance now. I've disconnected those. The odds are stacked hugely against it. It's because that lip there. If that lip wasn't there, this would probably go in quite easily. Yeah. Let's go in.
But will you get it out again?
Well, no, that is possibly a problem. That was a bad click. There's good clicks and bad clicks. That was a bad click. Right, it physically is in. It's not ideal, but it's in. Okay, I can live with that. And yeah, you have got very, very little chance of getting it back in again.
Back in again?
Like cables or anything. It's a bit of a waste really, because it is an RGB power supply, so it does want to really be shown off a little bit better. And it's not sitting flush. Why is that not sitting flush? I've lost a screw. Oh no, that is lined up. Okie dokie. Time to screw with confidence, he says. So yeah, I lied slightly. It does fit, but it's not cozy.
It is cozy.
No, cozy is comfortable. This is just like, get in, you bastard.
I thought cozy was tight.
No, cozy is like nice when you're on a nice little cozy room. You got your fire on, and you got your slippers and your pipe and that.
I'd have to explain a power supply as being like that.
This is like rush hour, 9 o'clock on a tube station on the first day back to work after Christmas. Rammy jammy. Right, so. Oof. Oh well, this is a bit longer this time round, so that's going to be a bit useful. Because that was the one thing about the Strider power supply, that the 8-pin connection from the top was actually a little bit on the tight side. So that I can actually cable manage round a little bit. I'm actually quite happy I did this now. Thanks, Kath, for pushing me towards excellence. Yeah, get the whip out. Actually, better not, because Bob will get all over excited.
I'll have to give you the stiletto.
He'll have the heels out before you can say, "Ooh, I've got a boner." I haven't. That's what Bob would say if the hills came out. There we go, RGB. I'm going to bend that on the motherboard a bit. I hate 3-pin RGB is fine, but it never wants to stay in place. I should cable manage this really.
Should bring a selection of hills down for our people.
Yeah, bring some stripper hills down. Bob will be all over the place. It'll be just a mess of peanuts and beer everywhere. Kath just choked on her beer. I wonder if Bob did as well. He choked on his peanuts. I said peanuts.
I did wonder.
Okay. Right, that seems to work. Well, it doesn't yet, but it probably will. It'll be fine. Let's run that bad boy through there. Yeah. I'm not a fan of micro ATX. I kind of understand it in terms of a form factor, and there is money to be saved, especially if you're buying a motherboard. Those are quite a bit cheaper to buy. But I hate the cases. I hate them, I really do. There's very few micro ATX cases which are brilliant. The Colink Citadel Mesh is one of the few which is kind of like just a really, really good case all round. Most micro ATX cases do make compromises, but at least with the Citadel Mesh you can put in some absolutely ridiculous sized fans and power supplies. Not much problem. On the flip side, this is a cheap case, so it is swings and roundabouts. There we go. Not exactly pretty, but I don't know. It's not that bad. I've got absolutely snowball's chance in hell of cable managing this. So what do we do when we can't cable manage something, kids? That's right, we put the back panel on and close it all up. Because it's just not going to work. Get in there, you dirty. What is that?
RGB stripper hills, of course.
RGB stripper hills, of course.
One of those.
Is that Bob?
No, I sent them to him to show him. You won't hear from him now.
The dee 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 dee.
Night, Bob.
So look, Thomas, thank you. Do you want me to fire this up? Do you want me to turn it on? Is that what you're trying to say? They just want to say bang. Dom was my friend. Dom sent me a microphone. And now he wants me to be taking a little shit in my pants. That's not nice. Have I got a cable? Oh. Kath, I hate to ask, but could you possibly please get me a kettle lead from the front room? Because I don't think I've got one here. So I think I left it in the setup room. We have a setup room. It's actually our front room. And it is just full of... Well, basically at the moment it's got Welly Bob's widescreen monitor on one of these IKEA desks. We bought 3 of them. And that is set up in our living room at the moment, right dead centre. Which used to be on carpet, but it isn't now because the cat pissed all over it, so we had to throw it away. On the floor, plugged into the extension lead. Just have a look, make sure it's not plugged in already, so it's cat going mad. Got it? God bless you, Mary Poppins. Now this isn't going to look great, because obviously, hashtag blame Dave. But you'll see what it looks like. I need some rubber feet to stick on this sucker, because look, plastic feet, not good. Thanks, Babs.
Plastic feet.
Plastic feet. Yaz in the plastic feet population. No. It'll probably go bang anyway.
Bang!
Idiots! All of you. Oh, the monitor turned off. That's probably not good. It's that strip, isn't it? Okay. As you can probably... What's that? What's that? Stripper Crocs? I didn't know that was a thing. Stripper heel Crocs. It looks like someone's just... Looks like someone's just put like a M12 bolt in the back of a set of Crocs. What a crock of shit. Boom. As you can see, I haven't turned off the standby 5 volt and RGB, which is actually quite nice. Turn it on and it works. I love the smell of burning PCB in the morning. Lucky Man says stick on furniture pads, velvet, £1 shop. The trouble is, the plastic feet that are on here, they've got like a ridge all the way around. You can't physically stick anything to them. So I'd have to replace them, I think. Plastic feet and fake meat. This just seems to be working, and we've got some RGB going on in the PSU department, which you can't actually see, which is kind of pointless. Take the grid off, I suppose. It's not in RGB mode at the moment. Where's the button? There we go. It's in unicorn puke mode now to match up with the rest of it. I think it looks quite nice, that case. It's not OTT in terms of RGB, the way it's set up now. Actually, Kath, can you turn... Hey Google. No, that's not going to do it, is it?
No, but you've set everyone else's off.
I know. There we go. I think that's quite a nice amount of RGB. It's not OTT. Yeah, you know me. No, that's OPP. That power supply. There's something about the way the grill's set up on this case, I think. It just makes a lot of noise. There's certain angles where it just makes a lot of noise. Really random review says, morning Mike, how many have you had? Not enough. Tech IQ says, hey Mike, did you see the budget fans I found? Argo AR12 Pro 5 pack for $20 on Amazon. No, I don't think I've seen those. Post them in our Discord, in the Bargains No Chat, and I will take a look at those. That sounds pretty good. I've had some Ago fans before and they were okay. Anyway, you've seen the Commando now, and it looks quite nice. There's something about white cases that I just quite like. They're hard to build with and hard to sort of stop from showing all kinds of stuff. But I think with the white AIO in there, it does work particularly well, and especially with these white pipes as well. It just looks nice, I think. But what I think isn't important, what you think is.
Yeah, I'm scared that spider that's sitting there with the keyboard.
Ah, spider, where? No spider. It does give off a lot of RGB, this case, considering there's not a lot of RGB in there. Although I think the single fan in the front doesn't look great, does it? I think it would look better probably either with none or RGB fans, but then that might be too much. I don't know. What are you doing?
I'm looking for a spider toy.
Don't throw spider toys at me. I think what I probably could do, which some people would love and some people would hate, is put a Fumo in the front. I think that would make a lot of sense. Let me know what you think.
You could put that twerking dog.
Let's turn it off now. What's going on here? That's still booting. Right, is this going to turn off now?
light on.
I probably made the mistake of not plugging in everything. It's going to get upset now, isn't it?
Bang!
Oh no, it did shut down. Excellent.
Sorry, George.
Yeah. Alright, let's turn it off. Bang. So, I stand corrected. The Game Max power supply does physically fit, although clearly it's not the best of ideas. That one is actually quite a big power supply, so what I might do is I might take the RAM page out of Kath's computer and put that one in hers.
That fan looks lonely in there on its own.
It does look lonely. I was contemplating putting more fans in. I've got another MSI fan somewhere. I was going to put that in with it. I've got loads of fans. There's like a shelf full of them. I did start off, bizarrely, I started this off going with the Soho, the Akasa Soho CPU cooler and fans. And I don't know what it was. I just got to the point. I was like, no, I have to use the white radiator and a white case. I think that was like the turning point. Actually, I know what I could do, because GameMax have got an offer on at the moment on CCL for some RGB fans, which are, I think they're like £5 each or something. So I could actually review those as part and parcel of this whole process. And then it's got GameMax fans in the GameMax PC, which would make total sense. I could even throw in the GameMax RGB controller hub. Just, oh no, then I'll have to put the SATA cable in to power it. That would be upsetting, so no, we won't be doing that. That's definitely not going to happen. It might happen. It probably will happen. Don't throw spiders at me. Ooh. Anyway, so there you go. You've seen the... I need some jerky now. And I'll also have some meat. Ian says that fan looks very lonely on its own. I know how it feels. Domas says, will this PC be for sale? Most definitely. It will 100%, well, the graphics card won't, so that's coming out, but it will definitely end up on Facebook Marketplace at some point. A letter says, I had one white case, I painted it black a few weeks later. Much like a Rolling Stones song, for those of you old enough to remember. William Bodie says, we have big black spiders in Europe with neon green fangs. That's pretty scary.
Show the size of our spiders.
Yeah, look at the size of our spiders. They're as big as your head. Almost.
It's got no eyes left. The cat's ate them. Spider-Man.
There we go. Right, I think that's going to wrap this stream up. I think I've been stupid for long enough. I can't believe it's almost 11 o'clock. Gone on for ages again, as we do. Anyway, I hate spiders also. So, hopefully you've had an entertaining evening. I still don't know what's happened in Eurovision. Can someone tell me what's happened in Eurovision? Are the results in yet? Has it been Wyoming ne point? Darren says, is the RTX 2060 8GB card, is that any good? 2060 are generally 6GB, aren't they? Not sure. Tech IQ says it wouldn't let me post in the bargains, so I put the link in Tech Chat. Alright, thank you for that, Tech IQ. Yes. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, hopefully you've all had an enjoyable evening. If you haven't already, smash the like button. If you can, share the video. It helps get it out. Results coming soon. Okay, no worries. Thank you all for your kindness, and thank you all for, well, basically foregoing watching the Eurovision and or FA Cup matches to join myself and Kath. We do appreciate it. Thank you to all of those that contribute. Thank you to all of those that like and comment on a daily basis. It's very nice to see you all doing it. But I think that is going to be it. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching. Night, everybody. Oh, I didn't get the button ready. Amateur. Good night, everyone.